Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Last Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the LEGO Star Wars Ashoka Tano's T-6 Jedi Shuttle. It is set number 75362, comes with 599 pieces plus 4 minifigures, and retails for $80. Taking a look at this thing, you got the full set in all its glory in a really nice background with a planet and in the background, showing it off in its flight mode, as well as shooting off its stud launchers. Showing off all your figures: Ashoka Tano, Sabine Wren, Professor Huang, and Mark. And go along with the Ahsoka minifigure in a stylized form in the bottom left corner. Take a look at the top of the box. You actually get the Ahsoka figure in a 1-to-1 image. And taking a look at that back, you can see we have the shuttle in a landed position on some unknown planet, with all of your figures in action, along with showing off some of the play features, such as the folding out landing gear, the stud launchers once again, and the folding wings. This box does have the push tabs, so you do have to damage the box in order to open it. Take a look inside. We've got 1, 2. We'll take a look at that in just a second. 3, 4, 5, 6 bags of parts. 1 sheet of stickers. Fortunately, one thing I was afraid about this, that was one of the stickers was going to be a sticker to go on the cockpit glass, but fortunately that is not the case. And we do have 1 instruction manual, not in a file folder. And strangely enough, this instruction manual is more vertical than it is horizontal. And once again, you get a CGI render of the set. Once again, we get an ad for paper bags in a set without them. Just jumps straight into the build. Going back of the instruction manual, you do have your list of parts. Right, and you do have a few ads an ad in the back of the instruction manual with all 3 Ahsoka sets, along with the Coruscant Guard gunship. So this looks like it's going to be a fun build. We'll go ahead and jump into time lapse of that build, starting right now. Alright, the build is done. That took about an hour or so to get done. Fun build, but there were some frustrating parts. I'll get to those in a minute. We'll go ahead and start off with the minifigures, starting off with Ahsoka Tano herself. This is the first version we see of Ahsoka, what I've come to call Ahsoka the Grey, compared to the white version we get later in the show. We did get this figure in the 2024 Advent Calendar, which I admit was a fun surprise. I wasn't expecting that. But then I'll go ahead and break her down again. And anyway, the Leku piece looks fantastic with all the blue with all the blue striping going on, and of course that crown. Printing on the face looks really good. With the printing on her face and those striking blue eyes. She does have an alternate the angrier face going on. The little bit of skin we see on the back is a shade or two too dark compared to the head and arms. Unfortunately, it's come to be the norm for LEGO minifigures, but that doesn't mean that's a good thing. But you do get some good printing on the back, as you do on the front. A little bit of metallic there on the belt buckle. Nice printing on the arms going on as well. Plus the legs. We got a little printing on the feet, which I almost feel like are supposed to be her toes. And then, of course, she's got a pair of lightsabers with the pure white blades. So pretty solid figure going on there. Up next, we have Professor Hu Yang making his very first LEGO appearance. And so looking pretty solid. That head mold looks absolutely fantastic, as does the print on it. You got a little bit of metallic there on the chest piece. Is as well as is in the torso with some exposed wiring going on, along with even more metallic printing on the legs and even the feet. No arm printing going on, but you do get an extra tile with an attached to a neck attachment that is printed, by the way, thank goodness. Plus, you got some more exposed wires going on. So, pretty solid first appearance for minifigure. Next up, we have the Inquisitor Merrick, who, well, he was an interesting character. Like, all he really did was fight around a bunch. But when, I honestly forget if who actually defeated him, whether it was Ahsoka or Sabine. But when he, died, quote unquote, he just kind of exploded into Night Sister magic. So it's like, was he ever really alive? I don't know. Anyway, interesting character. I love the head mold for the helmet going on. Really gives him a the look of an evil knight. No printing on on the black head piece going on because we never actually see his face. I mean, did he even have a face? I honestly don't know. Maybe it was just like living armor. I don't know. Oh, his weapon is an Inquisitor lightsaber with two blades, and you see his torso armor has a clip on the back. Good for that when it's not in use, and he's got good printing all around, on like all the dark rusted color going on him. Yeah, like I said, really gives him a full evil knight look going on. And then our fourth and final figure, we have Sabine. Nice printing on the metallic helmet going on here. Very, very Dinjarin look going on, just with the night owl printing going on. There's what she looks like underneath. She does have an alternate face, and she comes with a hair piece in purple, which looks really, really nice, pretty solid. She's got a pair of blaster pistols, which besides, I mean, these guys from the Captain America Civil War sets. But of course, she does have a second weapon, a lightsaber with a green blade, and good printing all around with the purple and the orange, and then of course plenty of metallic going on with the torso armor, or belt buckles, shoulder pads, feet. Plenty going on in the back as well. No arm printing though. So all in all, pretty solid minifigure selection. The ship, on the other hand, I am well aware of the fact that some people are rather disappointed with this ship, with the build for the set, especially considering how much smaller this is compared to the Clone Wars version of the same ship we got. I honestly never had that set, but I'm well aware of how much smaller it is, considering, if I remember right, you could, that set also came with 4 minifigures, and if I remember right, you could fit at least 2 of them in the cockpit, and this one can clearly only fit 1. But speaking of that cockpit, I'm happy to say that the glass piece is printed, not a sticker. Very happy about that. It folds open just fine. You do have a printed control panel here, and there's room in here for one pilot. So we'll go ahead and put Ahsoka in there. There we go. And, oh, there we go. There we go. It folds up. It's a little tight in there. That look so probably does make it a bit tight. But they do have it so the wings that do rotate as the way they're supposed to. Of course, you got a couple of stud launchers over there by the cockpit. Got some stickers go on over here on the on the tail fin. And same with on the other side. Plus, you got some stickered tails on the wings. Like I said, the wings can fully rotate to where you can to where it's in flight mode. And then another thing I'm well aware of is that fact that they didn't mirror the look of one side on the wings on the other. Honestly, the way I see it, it was like, did they need to do it? Not really. Would it have been nice if they did? Absolutely. But I can kind of see where Lego's coming from. I mean, I'm not sure how many of you guys know this, but when they decide what sets they're going to do, they pick the price range and the piece count before they ever design the set. So it's like it's got to be this vehicle, it's got to have this many pieces, and it's got to be this price point. No wiggle room. So I imagine that's one of the reasons why they didn't mirror the design on the other side of the wings. They if they could make it look good on one side, that's good enough for them. These pieces here are rather interesting. Like they're only here. Let me show you. They're only held on by this by this grip piece, and it goes right in there inside that tan Technic pin. So I could easily see these pieces, kind of coming off. Plus, you can see there's stickers on them. I will say that as cool as these functioning wings are, putting this section on with the giant gear here was one of the hardest parts of the build, because the whole thing keeps wanting to rotate. So yeah, it makes it a little difficult. Anyway, taking a look at the back, you got the 3 large engines, 1 small one, and you got 1 small gun turret, which, if you remember, was at episode 3 or 4 of the series. Shin Hati and a squadron of fighters chase the T-6 down, and Sabine has to fend them off with that gun turret. So it's way too small to even think about putting a minifigure in, but it's nice that they got that little detail. Plus, you got a little bit of storage on the ship with a couple of side panels on one side. It almost looks like it's supposed to be like a minifigure bed, but again, pretty sure it's too small to actually fit a minifigure in there. But you do see like a little removable table here with a wrench attached for Huye to work on the ship, and on the other side you got a little bit of storage for all your character's weapons. Plus one other detail on the ship. It's about as simple as it gets, but these panels do over here do fold out to kind of make something of a landing gear for the ship. It's like I said, it's about as simple as it gets, but it's a nice addition to the ship. So you can sit this thing down and it's at least a little stable on the table. So, do I think this set is worth $80? Most certainly not. I would put 70. You would be a bit pushing it. Would definitely have preferred something like 60, because again, this thing is quite a bit smaller compared to the original, and I think that one was around $80 if I remember right. Like I said, I never actually owned this set, but I do think it was around that $80 price point. And again, this thing is significantly smaller. So yeah, I would prefer around $70, $80. So yeah, I'd wait. I do believe this set is getting ready to retire this year. So if you want to get a hold of it, I would. Especially if you don't have like the original T-6 shuttle, or if you were a fan of the Ahsoka TV series, which I certainly was. But I would see if you can find a deal on like Amazon, or use some VIP points to knock down that price. But all in all, it's a pretty good set. Again, I don't really feel like it's worth the price tag, but I do like all the figures in them, with the exception of Ahsoka, considering she's in the 2024 Advent calendar. all the figures in here in this set are unique to this set. So that's kind of nice. But again, I would see if you can knock down the price before you purchase this set. Anyway, that'll be the end of this video. Thank you for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Ring the bell to be notified of all videos as soon as they become available. Check out my channel and some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. And I will see you all in the next video. Later, everybody!